ladies and gentlemen, strap on your microphones, listen to your headphones, because we're back again with another spirited episode of Is It Shit? And today we are looking at some brand spanking new AI plugin, are we not?
No, we're looking at quite an old plugin today, Dan.
Oh, I thought the Windows 95 sort of look to it was...
it was like ironic,
yeah.
It's an ironic retro plugin in the style of a Windows 95 window.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's not
I
that.
thought we got to the stage where people were doing models of old plugins.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It is going to happen. We'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, so today we're looking at
It's the Sonnox Oxford Surpresser.
So, a suppressor. Sorry, I just had to get that out. Go on, Em.
Basically, it's a de-esser. And the reason we're looking at a de-esser is... We won't talk about this now, but there's been a whole thing with Waves, obviously, recently. And I love the Waves de-esser, the standard de-esser. I've tried so many different de-essers. That is one of the few that just works for me in every instance. So it's really quite annoying that I have to find a replacement. So I've been trying out lots of different de-essers.
And that's because Waves have now gone to a subscription service.
Yeah, let's not go into that right now.
It
just makes me really angry. Anyway, I tried a bunch. And this one, I think, is my favourite. And I think this is the one I really should have been using a long time ago because it is very, very cool.
What makes it cool? Getting aside from the fact that de-essers generally aren't cool, it's a tool, isn't it? It's a tool for... What do we use a de-esser for?
Two things, generally. One, an over-sibilant vocal, which is the most common use.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but quite often you haven't recorded it over-sibilantly. It becomes sibilant with compression. You have to bung a lot of compression sometimes on a vocal to get it to sit right, and then it makes it more sibilant. Then you need a de-esser to fix that. The other thing you use it for is mastering. In that quite often you get sent a master where the whole track is just too sibilant, so you have to zero in on the region and just compress that one particular region of it. And a really good de-esser will do that almost sort of invisibly.
Yep.
So cool. One of those two jobs generally.
Cool. What makes this one so good? What features on this makes it so
Ultimately, the reason I like it so much isn't all the features. It's just that it sounds good.
Okay.
It's doing its job, but I can't hear it doing its job. You know, it's not making the track sound weird. So that's important. But it does have some really cool features. True enough. So it has some really cool things. It has this thing called the reaction envelope, which you don't often see, so you can set the attack, hold and release of this, which makes sense. If you were doing de-essing in the old way with an EQ and a compressor, you would have that control, so it's nice to have that.
Oh, right. So that was an old technique, was it?
Oh, before de-essers, you had an EQ firing into a compressor. And you would just turn up the sibilant frequency going into the compressor and sidechain it off your vocal or whatever.
Oh, I get this in real time, people. You say?
Watch Dan learn. Yeah, that's what we should turn this to. Educating Dan.
That's going to be a long series.
Yeah, I ain't got time.
I love a fact, though. I do love a fact.
Okay, well, that's what used to happen. And then there weren't many companies, but there were a few. There was a company called Valley People who used to make a de-esser, hardware de-esser. And when I used to work in studios, that was the most popular bit of gear to hire in. There wasn't many, and you had to keep hiring them in. I don't know why we didn't just buy one.
No.
Anyway.
Because nobody... Yeah, no, I don't know.
Who knows? Anyway, years later we have plugins. But this has some cool features. So I like the fact that it's just got a big fader. You set your fader left to right, zero in on the frequency, then another one, how much you want to de-ess. It's kind of easy.
That's cool, yeah.
You can listen to the mix with the de-essing being done. You can hear just the bit you're de-essing.
Yeah.
Or you can hear the bit without it.
That makes perfect sense.
It's just really nicely thought out, very simple, nice graphic that helps, doesn't get in the way. And it's blue, and I quite like blue. There you go.
Yeah.
The other good thing about this, so when you get it, you get three versions. You get a low latency version, you get a high res version, and you get the normal version. So no matter what computer you've got and how well it's running many plugins, there'll be a version that you'll be able to run.
Thrilling. Is it scalable?
Do you know what? I don't think it is scalable.
No.
You found a downside. I think this was made in the days before scaling things was an issue, because monitors were only small and you just had to put up with it.
Okay, good. Free trial?
There is a trial, 15-day trial, where you can mess around with it and see if it does what you need it to do.
I'd record some vocals, get an a cappella, go and download this for 15 days and have a go at de-essing, because you will be amazed at the difference it makes to vocal. I've found. Anyway. And I've said this to you before, and we sort of looked over it, but I've heard, I don't know where it was, some big engineer say it's often how you can tell the difference between an expertly produced vocal and an amateur record sort of produced vocal is the de-essing. And I listen back to some of my old vocals, having heard that, and I'm like, way too much.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think I quite often de-ess a vocal anyway, because that taming of the high end, you don't realise you need it. It's quite tempting to make everything bright. Yeah. And then when they put a de-esser on the right frequency, it just makes it sit.
It does, yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Leaves room for your hi-hats.
Anyway, there we go. It's not shit, Dan.
Good. Okay, sorry, that was your next question. Yeah,
so, subscribe to the channel.
Patreon.
Instagram now, Studio Life 101.
And the website for tutorials, clothes, and all sorts of interesting articles, playlists, chats, and all of that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
Excellent.
See you next time.
Adios.